It's Wednesday, March 11th. You're watching the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by our good friends over at FanDuel. I'm your host, Jason Cooper, alongside my producer for the next hour and a bit, Mike Bennett.
What's up, Jay?
Behind the boards, making things cook, as always does. Nothing much. Honestly, I lied. A lot's been happening in the sports world. I don't know if you've been living under a rock. Yeah, but a lot of crazy stuff has been happening. We're going to talk about all of it today. We've got a great list of guests, but let's run through quickly what happened yesterday. Italy smokes the U.S.
Unreal.
in baseball. It's funny. I made a video yesterday. I said, hey, Americans, you can keep baseball. Basketball's our game now. But hey, it turns out they lost baseball too. So yeah, that was a crazy one. 8-6 win for Italy. Aaron Judge,
Choke.
Final at bat for them. Struck out. Guy is not clutch. It's kind of crazy. Maybe I'm going to live to regret that when the Jays play the Yankees.
Speaking of which, 1 second, my friend.
All right. Oh!
Mistakes by Jay. It's happening, my friend. Italy won. Italy won. I can scream because all the people are sleeping around me. But it's happening. USA has to become the 111th province of Italy. Pizzola. I told you, my friend. Italy won.
Italy in one. There is no tomorrow. Thank you, Francesco Greco. I appreciate that. What a guy. Listen, I'm still a little bit mad at him for selling us a book that was completely AI written, but we'll cover that on another day. Maybe we should have brought on Francesco today. There's no tomorrow. Francesco Greco, Beta Jess Win on Twitter. I don't even know what it is on Twitter. Hilarious. Italy in one. I feel like this network's low-key just roots for Italy because myself, Moretto, Jacob, and Rob all have Italian roots. Yeah. Mike, you can be honorary. Don't worry, you can come join us. But yeah, crazy win there for Italy. That's not all that happened.
No.
Maxx Crosby traded to the Ravens, failed his physical. Ravens renege. Signed Trey Hendrickson. What an absolute debacle that is. Raiders kind of screwed right now after making a massive splash in free agency. I'll talk about that with George in just a sec. And then finally, Bam Adebayo drops 83 points. Everyone's saying there was no record broken. Guys, Wilt Chamberlain has that record. He has 100 points. I'll talk about that and a little bit more in just a sec. Let's quickly bring up the guests here. I didn't run it down for the.
Oh, you
the
want
audience.
the guests? Yeah, no worries.
Guest list. Yeah, George is going to be leading off the show. That's what we'll talk about, the Maxx Crosby stuff. Then, of course, Jeff Feinberg comes on. We're going to talk Players' Championship. The fifth major, as we like to call it here. TPC Sawgrass could be a lot of fun. I'm going to see if I'm going to use my profit boost on Scotty Scheffler or if Jeff's going to tell me not to use it. And then finally, we close out the show with Kirk Evans, who had a winning week last week when he was on the show. So, yeah. But I am getting word just now that he was on Bam Adebayo under 23.5 points last night. So that's the most Kirk genuinely bet I've ever seen in my entire life. Before we bring on our good friend George here, just a quick reminder, quick shout out to our friends over at FanDuel. FanDuel's putting you in control right from tip-off. That's right. You get to choose your reward. Play it safe. Go for it. Feeling bold? That's your move. What's your style? Whatever your style is, you are in control. You decide what kind of bettor you are, the shot caller, the strategist, the steady hand at the line. No matter how you play, FanDuel's giving you the power to choose your reward and own your game this NBA season. Head over to FanDuel.com/forwardprogress to make your choice. FanDuel, an official sports partner of the NBA. Must be 21 plus and present in select states for Kansas, affiliates, Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in required. Rewards and non-withdrawable restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration like requirements to max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/China. Can I visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland? Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelp.ma.org or call 1-800-750-50 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 1-877-8-HOPE-Y or text HOPE-Y in New York. Before we bring on George here, I just want to quickly talk about this Bam Adebayo stuff because I'm a little bit pissed off. Basketball fans, I don't know what your issue is. Why do you guys just hate having nice things? A guy broke I was about to say a guy broke a record. I was about to make fun of people. A guy has an incredible performance, puts up 83 points, something you will probably never see for at least 2 decades, a decade maybe. And all these people on Twitter are like, oh, it's a shame that he beat he passed Kobe in that 81 points. Who cares? It's a great performance. What do you want Bam Adebayo to do? Like, people were like mad that he passed him. What did you want him to do? You want him to not pass, not get to 83 points? You don't want him to be second in most points, single game most points in NBA history. What are we doing here? What do you expect him to do? And I see people on Twitter like, oh, he had like 40 free throws. Did you see how he was getting fouled? You think the Washington Wizards stopped trying? They were like hacking, slashing,
Triple team coverage.
The way that he was getting, they knew what the Heat wanted to do. They knew what Bam Adebayo wanted to do, and they tried to stop him, and they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. Now they are forever etched in history as the team that got put 83 on their head by Bam Adebayo. You think they want that? They didn't want that. Also, if we're going to talk about unethical things, it's way more unethical for the amount of teams that tank in the NBA than Bam Adebayo absolutely shit-stomping these taking teams. If anything, more players should do this. More teams should be doing this. These taking teams deserve this. It's like a humiliation ritual. If you're going to be doing this, if you're going to tank, you got to accept that this is going to happen to you on the way back. Anyways, we have a little poll in the chat. I'm curious to hear what you guys thought was your favorite storyline from last night between Bam, the Ravens, and Italy beating USA in the World Baseball Classic. If you click see results, I hate you. Don't do that. Have some stones here. All right? What a great way to start the show. Anyways, let's bring on our first guest here. He's the inaugural Hammer Fantasy League champion. Host on Forward Progress. He's smiling behind the scenes. G-Stack George Silfides. How's it going, my friend?
Finally, someone gives me the reverence that I deserve when I get introduced on a show.
I've added it to your tagline for forever now. You asked me to do it that one time when you won. Also, like the beard, looking good, George. You asked me to put it on, so I'm going to be putting it on here. Let's get into things. I saw you shaking your head. Well, before we get into the NFL stuff, though, I saw you shaking your head in the back. You don't disagree with the Bam take?
I shouldn't be surprised by your position on this. I just think I had more hope for you, Jason. I think it's despicable that you fall in line with what Bam did was worthy of praise last night.
How can you even? Okay, I feel like I'm a part of the silent majority. Honestly, I truly do. I feel like your camp, the camp that you were in, which I'm assuming you're in, is just the loud minority. Because listen, you loved Kobe. You loved watching Kobe. That's fine.
That's got nothing to do with Kobe.
What is it?
When you start doing things that are out of the spirit of the game. So, no team will intentionally foul up 30. There's no any other circumstance that does not exist. The Miami Heat are intentionally fouling to get Bam more possessions in less time. That's not a technically a play in the league. If you want a stat pad, I'm good for it. When you start doing things that don't exist in any other circumstances, it's a fake record. No one respects it today. When Kobe did it, they were down by 20. They won the game by like 15 points. Kobe had to bust his ass. Bam shouldn't have been in there in the fourth quarter, and frankly, they should not have been doing the intentional fouling. So I can't respect him doing something that's out of the spirit of the game just to pass a mark. Wilt Chamberlain did the same, so a lot of people don't know this. When Wilt went for 100, they were blowing the other team out, and there was a lot of intentional fouls to do the same thing. As far as I'm concerned, not because I love Kobe, at least his was an honorable points. When Joel Embiid got pulled in the fourth, when he had like a 70 piece, that was honorable. When Luka went for his 70 piece, honorable. Bam Adebayo, I'm out on that.
I'm out on this take, George. You're wrong. You're wrong because what the Wizards are doing is not honorable. They're tanking. They're a terrible team. Also, it's not like they were down 30 points, but if a team is down 30 points, what should they be doing? They should be trying to score, no? They should be trying to win the game. But they're not. Their entire goal for that fourth quarter was to guarantee that Bam did not get this record. So it's almost like chicken or egg at this point.
I think it was despicable, especially those people who tuned in. A lot of people didn't see Bam's first three quarters where he was very good. I'm going to tell you a story, Jason. I'm going to take you back to September 28, 1941, okay? It's the final game of the baseball season, and Ted Williams is batting .401. And he can sit. It's a doubleheader to finish the season. He can sit and have a .400 batting average in baseball, which is very rare. And we've seen guys sit on the final game of the season to win a batting title. It was a doubleheader, very risky. And Ted Williams says, absolutely not. You pay me to play baseball. The guy goes 6 for 8 and finishes with a .406 batting average. That was a man, not Bam Adebayo.
Well, I just don't understand what you expect Bam to do. You expect him to just like not try and score? You say take me out of the game?
I think Spoelstra should be ashamed of himself too.
I don't know. I disagree with that. And I think the chat is somewhat. It seems like the chat is split on this one here. I think the bigger issue, if anyone's worried about this, is tanking in the game. If we're talking about the spirit of the game, because that's basically ruined half of these basketball games down the stretch here. But, anyways, someone said George is right. Ban him from the chat. Whoever said that.
Chosen.
All right, let's get into some NFL stuff, which is why we brought you on here for today. The Maxx Crosby debacle, from one big story last night to another. What the hell is going on here? Ravens get cold feet. Maxx Crosby doesn't pass his physical, even though everyone kind of knows what's wrong with Maxx Crosby. He's recovering from this, I believe, Achilles injury. Then they move on. They just say, F it, let's sign Trey Hendrickson. Break down this entire debacle for us here.
It was a dark night in sports last night. It's not just the BAM stuff. The Maxx Crosby, Baltimore failing him on a physical is such BS. Everybody knew he wasn't going to pass a physical technically till June time. They got cold feet. They realized they overpaid. And then they said, we could just sign Trey Hendrickson. His market's not what we thought it would be, for the same money and keep our first round picks. And they go out and they blame it on a medical. And honestly, is there anything worse than a person who agrees to a deal and then backs out 5 days later and gets cold feet? Like, I have no respect for you after that.
Yeah, it's just a lack of respect day from here from your perspective, George, with the amount of stuff that's been going on. I honestly, I feel like Geoff would say, I feel like this is Geoff speaking through me right now. It's almost like the Raiders get a little bit of comeuppance here, because they've been kind of soft tampering with the entire league, with Tom Brady talking to all the head coaches, being in the media, and then they get the Maxx Crosby contract dumped back on them after they had a massive splash in free agency. What did you make specifically of the Trey Hendrickson deal for the Ravens? Is it a good fit? Do you like the signing? Quickly talk us through that.
I'm going to be surprised. I'm surprised he got 4 years at 31 years old. And I know obviously that it's all about the guaranteed money, but I was hearing 2 and 3 year deals for him. Clearly the Ravens went to 4. There was some sort of market for him. You know what? People shit on the Jalen Phillips signing for the same amount of money. I'd rather have a younger Jalen Phillips than Trey Hendrickson, who's 31, coming off an injury. So now it's been a year since I've seen him be a really good pass rusher. And I know, pass rushers, if they're very good, they can last into their early 30s. Like you see it with Danielle Hunter, and, it's not exactly like he's going to fall off a cliff. But I don't know. You know what would be great karma? Jason, not that I'm hoping for this.
Here we go, hoping for injury. Let's hear it.
If he's so bad and injured that it becomes such an awful contract. Baltimore deserves that, don't they?
Maybe. I love Lamar Jackson. I'm a Baltimore fan, so I kind of don't want that to happen to that team. But for pulling the old reverse, backing out of the trade, maybe they do deserve it here. 2 p.m. Eastern time later today, you will be live on Forward Progress, because we're going to be breaking down all the free agent signings for the NFL. So I want to play a little game here.
Sure.
I want to do some free agency Mad Libs. And for those who don't know, Mad Libs is a game where, there's a sentence, there's a blank in that sentence, and you're going to fill in that blank. So I have a couple sentences here that I want you to fill out. Chat, maybe you can fill it out alongside us here as well. Let's start with this one. The most confusing signing of free agency so far was blank player to blank team.
Gardner Minshew to Arizona. I know that I thought they were going to get Malik Willis. I was shocked Miami was able to get him, but the pivot was Minshew, and now you got a Brissett Minshew battle. I'm not like, go force your hand and find a quarterback, but I really don't like that. I mean, unless the clear plan is we're going to be bad next year in this division and we'll worry about quarterback in the next year's draft, why even get Minshew at that point? Then I'd rather just go with Brissett and just anything off the bench that doesn't cost any money. Yeah,
that's a good point there. I think you're right though. I think they're maybe just sacrificing the year because, again, Seahawks, Rams, Niners, it's tough.
Why get a middling backup? Might as well just get a low end backup.
Maybe you're going to try and do what the Browns have tried to do in the past and flip the quarterback to a team that is injured. You're ahead of the curve. Quarterback gets injured on a good team, and they're like, hey, we're scrambling. We still want to compete. Let's trade for Gardner Minshew or Jacoby Brissett. Could be
I think they're going to trade Jacoby Brissett, especially if he looks good again, slinging. I think Brissett would be a pretty hot trade candidate. Just, I don't know.
Still confusing.
Maybe I just didn't like the fact that I thought that they were linked to Jimmy G. I don't know what happened with that either.
All right. Next one we have here is blank player signing with blank team will be the biggest steal of free agency.
Okay. It hasn't happened yet.
Okay.
But Kyler Murray signing with the Vikings will be the biggest steal of free agency.
All right.
He's going to get paid $1.3 million, Jason. It's going to make him like the 80th highest paid quarterback. So he's getting like low end third quarterback money. And he's what, a top 20 quarterback? You have a 1 year window technically to win a Super Bowl. Not that the Vikings will win the Super Bowl, but when you can pay a quarterback of that caliber 80th highest paid money and you're getting top, like there's no better surplus value in the entire NFL.
So if he go ahead, sorry.
Other than Drake May or
rookie deals.
Yeah, rookie deals. This has to become like the best contract in football, right?
Yeah, Drake May, Caleb Williams, all elite deals. But Kyler Murray is probably like a little bit better than that. But so you're telling me when he comes in, he will be the starter for sure. I guess, does that mean they're out on JJ McCarthy or out on JJ McCarthy for now?
The only one who hasn't realized that the Vikings are done with JJ McCarthy is Alex Morel.
Oh man, they should have kept Sam Darnold. That was a humiliation ritual for them watching Sam Darnold go and win a Super Bowl. Could have been them. But let's get to the next one here. The most overpaid player in free agency will be blank for blank team.
Tyler Linderbaum on Las Vegas. So, Jason, he's getting $27 million a year as a center. The second highest paid center is getting $18 million. So it's one thing to reset the market, another to reset it by 50% higher than the next closest guy. And then you saw like all the free agent signings, Cade Mays and Connor McGovern and Tyler Biadasz, they went from 8 to 13. Is Tyler Linderbaum 2 to 3 times more valuable than all of them? I think that's insane for a center.
Do you think part of that is because, one, the salary cap is supposed to increase by so much? Like I don't have the best understanding of the mechanisms of the salary cap.
I get it. Anytime you hit free agency, everything's reset.
Yes.
I just think it will even over reset. Like I think by the end of his tenure, he's still going to be the highest paid
Interesting.
center.
Yeah.
And that's normally not the case when you sign a guy at top of market. By the end of the deal, it's no longer top of market. I can't see any center making more than 27 3 years from now.
I wonder if that's also a function of how thin the center pool was this year. The team that thinks they're contending but isn't after free agency is team blank.
All right, I'm going to be harsh here, but I want to say the New York Giants.
Okay.
They got John Harbaugh.
Yep.
They got Isaiah Likely, Tremaine Edmonds, Greg Newsome, Ardarius Washington. People are still very excited. They re-signed Jermaine Illuminor. And then I'm still sitting there, and I know they have a top 5 pick, but their O-line still is bad. They still, outside of Malik Neighbors, don't have many weapons. I get you like Theo Johnson, Isaiah Likely, but you lose Wan'Dale Robinson. Defensively, they lose Cordell Flott for Greg Newsome. I think that's a downgrade in a secondary that wasn't good enough to begin with. And they still don't have a replacement for Bobby. They replaced Bobby Okereke for Tremaine Edmonds, but I don't love their defense still or their offense. But people are excited about it. I'm not sure. Stuck
in the middle, but again, made that big splash, which is kind of what I was asking for there. Team that made a splash, but thinks they're contending, but it seems like they're not. NFL media and fans are wrong about blank team signing blank player. And I want you to make this one like a little bit of a positive one. I want you to look at a sign that people are poo-pooing on, saying this isn't a good sign, but tell me why it was.
I like New England signing Romeo Doubs for I think it worked out to Jason like 17 to 17.5 million per year. He's getting paid like high, mid-tier wide receiver 2 money. And I think he could play like a high tier wide receiver 2. I don't think he's a wide receiver 1, but I also think he didn't show all of his potential in Green Bay. There was moments when they were very injured and he had very big games. And And I think with New England, he might find way more consistency.
Yeah, it's also like the recipe of how LaFleur runs his offense. He doesn't like have a true number one. He kind of spreads the ball out at a time. But when he was forced to, Romeo Doubs was one, reliable, didn't get injured too often, if I remember correctly, in his tenure with Green Bay. And two, like you said, he has the ability to be a good number two, which, like you said, New England does need. They need that receiver depth.
And he's like a younger, faster Stephon Diggs, who is gone. Like, would you be surprised if he goes out and has a 1,200-yard season? Everybody's saying Dobbs is really good again, like really good. I actually like that signing compared to what some of the other receivers got in the market.
In my opinion, one of the biggest hidden edges in the NFL is Romeo Doubs with his Guardian cap. It makes him easier to see. So there you go, Drake. Man, you'll be able to spot when he's open a little bit more quickly here. Blank team stock is way up after the first few days of free agency.
So I have two for this. I think Tennessee stock is way up in that, like, they were like one of the 3 worst teams in football.
Yeah.
And now they might be closer to a 7-8 win team.
Yeah.
But if you talk about like in terms of like who was bad but not awful, that could be a playoff team. I think Washington's stock is actually up.
Interesting.
They go out and they had D-line issues, right? They couldn't generate pass rush. So they go out and they get Odafe Owe, pay him big money, and then they get Kayvon Chase on a 1-year deal. I thought that was one of the best signings in free agency. So all of a sudden, I now like that's their 2 best pass rushers already there. Then they go out and get Leo Chenal for like $7-8 million a year. I think he's actually a good linebacker and comparable to what other linebackers got. I thought it was one of the better deals. They still have a lot of secondary issues, and they probably still need a number 1 wide receiver. But I think they can solve one of those issues with the 7th overall pick. And I still think there's some value signings available in the secondary.
Yeah. All right. So Washington Commanders and Titans. I'm laughing about the Titans just because I know you're like a pseudo Titans fan at this point.
I mean, listen, if you spend 180 million or whatever, you're gonna be better by default. Although I have complaints on how they spent it, like giving Alontae Taylor a slot corner $20 million. I think that's not insane, but I think they're better technically. Yeah.
Last one here, and you can hear more about if you're interested in more in free agency stuff. We got a video live. We're gonna be live on the Forward Progress YouTube channel, 2 p.m. Eastern time. So go check that out. Last one for you here, George. Before we head out, blank team stock is way down after the first few days of free agency.
I have a 2-parter.
All right.
And our next guest is gonna like it and hate it.
Okay.
So my first parter is I think Kansas City's stock is way down.
Okay.
Just simply for the fact that they need an entire new secondary now. They lose Trent McDuffie. I thought the trade return was good. Jalen Watson, Joshua Williams, so like 3 of their top 4 corners, and their starting safety, Brian Cook. You have to replace all that. All these dreams of what they're going to do with the draft, I just look at them like, oh, they have a completely depleted secondary. And I know Steve Spagnuolo, this has been his calling, like never sign a corner, let them move on and we'll find them. But I don't know that he's had to replace an entire secondary in one offseason. So I just think that's got a potential to be a disaster. And my bonus one is I'm going to say the Chargers. Their stock's not way down.
Yeah.
But they had so much money, and I thought like they could really kill this free agency. And so far it's been re-signing Khalil Mack. They signed a blocking tight end, Charlie Kohler, a fullback, and like Tyler Biadasz and Cole Strange to fix the interior O-line. So I don't know what their next move is, and maybe like this might be a moot comment because in a week from now they might make some good value signings. I believe the first 2 days of free agency, everybody overpays. But so far, like for my expectations, I don't think the Chargers have gotten better yet.
Yeah, that's a great point. We saw last year the Chargers sort of stand pat and not really make any moves that would sacrifice their future, which I thought was a great move by that part. But to do that 2 years in a row might be an issue. I was laughing there because Geoff is in the background, just like his face just scrunched up. He's like,
here's the caveat, because we're going to grade all these signings and we're going to give out. Me and Rob have discussed our grades. We're pretty harsh. The Chargers technically haven't made a bad signing yet.
Yes.
They haven't made much signing. So if anything, it's pretty good.
Yes.
Like from that perspective, it's like better not to overspend. I prefer you deal in the value days and then build through the draft and extend your guys. I think that's the better strategy.
Yeah, and I appreciate you guys giving out actual grades because every grade I've seen, it's like everyone gets an A, everyone gets a B. It's like, nah, like that. What are we doing here? Is this a bird course? Like, what are we doing? Come on.
I have some D's in there, and
perfect.
Yes,
George, yeah. I know you love your D's, so I cannot wait to get to watch that video. 2 p.m. Eastern time on the Forward Progress YouTube channel. Go check it out. We'll be live, and I assume you're going to be fielding comments as well.
Oh yeah, it's going to be live. Whatever anybody says, live questions. It'll be fun time. Me, Rob, and Austin. Looking forward to it.
Just excited to have the Forward Progress crew back. George, appreciate you. We'll chat soon.
Take care, my friend.
Great stuff there from George. As always, we're going to get into our next guest here. Just a quick reminder, like I said, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Forward Progress YouTube channel, Forward Progress HQ. Go check it out. Grading the key free agent signings. I love talking ball. Great stuff. All right. Time for our next guest here. He was a little bit pissed off in the background at the start of the segment, and I promise you that wasn't planted so that like we could get Geoff a little mad. But he seems to have come around to George's take here. Mr. Geoff Feinberg, how's it going, my friend? Are you now? You might be muted on your end.
Oh, you're right. Sorry, I was muted. I've just been, taking in new PGA Tour commissioners' full press conference, so I didn't want that getting on air. But you know what? George was not wrong.
Okay.
He landed the plane properly. Mm-hmm. They haven't made a bad signing, but they haven't been as active. But it's a very disciplined front office from Ozzie Newsome, Eric DaCosta. I guess, those guys are in the fire right now. Mm. But, this front office is yet to make like a splash signing since they've arrived. I don't know that we'll trade draft picks, but something's up. The Chargers, I think, will be considered maybe a much deeper team, but I don't know that. Yeah, George isn't wrong. Like, It's hard to say they got better. They haven't made a bad signing, but Jason, the salary cap is so big. 96% of these guys are trash. If a team is letting you leave, with the way you can work a cap or the amount of cap room, you are someone else's garbage. Every team can sign who they want to keep. That's what you've got to realize. And don't get me wrong, like, would I like to be paying for an $11 million like injury-prone guard just to feel better? Of course I would. And what I do dislike about this chart, I don't want to say dislike, but they're obsessed with like the comp pick formula, as the Ravens are.
Okay.
Like we were very aggressive before free agency even started for guys that were cut, because when that were already free agents, it meant they didn't count towards our comp picks. I don't like some of the nickel and diming. I'll admit it. But in 1 minute, I feel panicked. In another minute, I'm the guy talking other Charger fans off the ledge. Like, no. This is fine. We'll see.
All right.
We'll see.
I hope they do a little bit more, because I still have I do have my 2026 Chargers to win the Super Bowl ticket, just because of you, Geoff.
I haven't bet it yet, though. The number wasn't big enough.
I haven't exactly.
You know what I'm going to do? Like, every time I go to like a Jays game this year, I'm not going to like bet the Jays, but I'll take like I'll parlay it with the Chargers to win the Super Bowl. That'll get me hyped for the game.
I love that. All right.
I know some pro out there will be like, why would you, like, you're going to bet $300 on the game? Just like, you're better off winning that $300
and then rolling it over.
Yeah,
obviously.
And I'm like, no. I'm just going to leave. Like, I won't care. That's how I look at life.
Yeah.
I'm a little phased. But at the same time, we didn't buy someone else's garbage.
That's a great point. And I actually think I disagree with what you said about the sharps. I think what you're doing is a pretty sharp move.
No, it isn't.
No?
Trust me, it's not.
Okay, I trust you. See, you know your stuff.
No, like, that is why I'm a sophisticated square.
Yeah. You're
because,
aware.
like, I know, but like, it's fun. It's like, what I'll do, but
I would think you're like protecting your account if you do that, but maybe not. But I guess it doesn't really matter, because you're betting Jays at any number at close, and then just
Jays any number at close parlayed with
the Chargers.
The Chargers. This is So I will have, normally when the season ends, like ask Kanish, I'll like send him the DM, like, here's my $500, Chargers to win the Super Bowl, like any number. But I was so turned off by like these openers.
Yeah.
That I didn't want to bet them at 15-1 in February.
All right, maybe we'll get the number to come back to us here. Before we get into the Players' Championship, which is dubbed as the fifth major here, I want to ask you about Maxx Crosby because you said you had some opinions on the Maxx Crosby stuff and the Ravens. Talk us through it.
Well, I mean, I'm just of the camp, like, sure, they could have easily seen something else. It's like plausible. Like, it's definitely probably the favorite outcome. But I am one of these people that like smell the smoke. That think it's at least like a 36% chance that they got cold feet. An organization that never moves off these sorts of draft picks, having moved off 2 of them. And then they saw, maybe the market stall a little bit to get the pass rusher. And don't get me wrong, they didn't break any rule. The most annoying guy in my home league, like my best friend. He'll annoy the shit out of you to make a trade. Sometimes he'll make a trade just so he'll leave you alone. But it's not over until you hit accept.
Yep.
We could, the text chain could say this. You got to go home and hit accept. And it doesn't matter if I flew to your house. Until I hit accept, it didn't matter. That being said, people, the Raiders got screwed. Okay. The Raiders absolutely got screwed. I believe there's a good chance the Ravens played a dirty game. But I asked this question. This just sort of feels like justice because the Raiders get away with tampering on unchecked levels.
Yep.
That if there's a team that's going to get got by gray area of the NFL, it's these goddamn Raiders. You bet your ass.
Tinfoil hat time. Do you think that the Ravens knew what they were doing when they did this? Or do you think that...
No.
A little bit of vigilante justice? No?
I don't think they knew that they were going, because a lot of guys, they lost like 7 guys.
Yeah.
That's a lot of comp picks. No, I'm telling you, the Ravens right now are in the comp pick formula. They're probably crushing it. But no, I don't believe the Ravens did this premeditated. I just think they realized in the end, like, I don't know, these trades...
Not for me. Gave too much.
That's all. That's, and it's unfortunate, but it was so awkward how it all went down. And the Raiders disagree. When a guy fails a physical, usually we'll see both teams acknowledge the failed physical.
Yeah.
The Ravens stated failed physical. The Raiders stated the Ravens have backed out of our deal. So it's the wording in this, people. And for all you Florio haters, it's his time to shine, baby. It's his time to shine. I'm a Florio guy. I know the haters are out there. I see their case. But when you're going to work for a network partner, like a television partner, and hold the league like he does, and sniff that dirty underwear like he does, you got equity to like make cringy mistakes.
Oh man, Geoff, you're absolutely on one today.
Usually when the segments are good, the golf picks suck. So we need bad segments with good golf picks. That's the problem.
All right, let's balance it out here. Let's talk some golf picks. What do you make of the Players' Championship? How fun is it? Is it the fifth major to you? Talk to me about, because I know you're new. What is it? The commissioner of the PGA is like trying to make this the fifth major. You seem like you love them. Talk to me about the Players' Championship and it being the fifth major.
Okay, here's the thing about it. He's a smart enough guy. Today he rolled that back, Jason.
Okay.
He rolled it back. So their whole thing, like March's major, this like secret ad campaign that like got leaked. It's almost like politics. You like put something out there, see how the public responds to it, and then you decide to act, pretend that it was your idea, not your idea, happening, not happening. It feels like when asked about it today, he said, that's really something the public gets to decide.
Okay.
So, he almost mocked that, like, this commercial that wasn't even a commercial got out there or something, like, how powerful their ad campaigns can be. So we walked that back, but quickly otherwise, this new commissioner, I mean, what a dream. He comes from the NFL and not a golf guy, which is kind of scary. not a golf guy, but he's acknowledged not a golf guy, and he's done a lot of learning and a lot of listening. And when I say listening, I'm certain you can't convince me this guy has not been listening to like lots of golf podcasts and reading like golf Twitter, because what he said today I felt seen. I felt heard. It's not like my opinions were mine alone. I'm not saying he's listening to I don't think he's listening. Anyhow, I'm just saying it seemed like he was very keen on like what golf fans want. And I was so impressed. I was so impressed.
All right. Well, we'll just quickly say hello to Jay Monahan if he's listening.
No. I wanted someone to make that Alex Jones meme, and Monahan gets all the R's, and Rolap gets Moses.
All right. Okay. Sounds good. All right. Let's get into the picks for today. Every time there's a tournament and Scotty's playing it, I ask you the same question. So I'll ask you the same question today. Why shouldn't I be betting on Scotty and using my little profit boost on FanDuel to click him to win at that plus 480? I believe there's a 20% profit boost right now in select states. So why should I not be using my 20% profit boost on Scotty to win this tournament?
I mean, Scotty's approach is about a stroke worse than 3-4 to 1s when it was 3-4 to 1. Do you know what I mean? Like right now, Scotty's playing it like a golfer who should be like 12 to 1.
Okay.
14 to 1. Right? His approach has just not been there. That being said, difficult conditions. Of course, he's won multiple times at. It all sets up. There kind of feels like there won't be a warning. And he's like, you guys look at me like week to week, you know, in terms of my result. You don't understand. Like I grade myself like shot to shot. So he's working on something. And this is where it gets dangerous, Jay. I'm a bit overexposed because I came into the week with a couple bets already. But when I mentioned that Scotty just doesn't feel like Scotty right now, right? By the eyes, by the actions, he's acting a bit like a petulant child. And it's fun when golfers act like a child, like, you know, your Trail Hattons, even your Shane Lowry's. But when the number one like player, the best player on earth does it, I find it so unappealing. Like when you are at the top of the mountain, I just, you know, you acting like you're shocked your ball didn't go in the hole, like it's someone else's fault. I don't go for that. That being said, Scotty feels vulnerable because he's not playing like we're used to, which is scary because he's still incredible. Rory feels vulnerable because there's a back injury and he hasn't practiced yet. You know, I think he's hitting some balls right now, but the back has been acting up. So that opened the door. And if you look at this event, since they moved it to March, Jay, the winners, Scotty twice, I think Rory twice, Justin Thomas, Cam Smith the year he won a major. Like all those guys would have been like 20 to 1, 22 to 1 or under pre-tournament. So this is like severely favored the top of the very, very top of the board. And right now it does feel like you've got two guys at the very top who feel vulnerable. You know what that is? That's a recipe for this disciplined, sophisticated square to lose some money. Because I see those big boys wobbling, and I got confidence in some other guys in those next few tiers to kick that door down. Scotty will probably figure it out. There's no one more dangerous than an injured golfer. You know, so Rory will be on the first tee tomorrow, and we're all going to look at Rory's prices and should we? Because if he's healthy, this is an incredible opportunity. But I'm already too invested to even consider something like that.
All right, so who are you invested in? I know you have a couple features there on Ludwig Aberg, 40-ish, 45-ish to 1, but that's come down a bit. Minwoo Lee as well, 80 to 1, again, come down a bit. Who do you have right now that's still available?
Yeah, so I got to just pat myself on the back because a lot of books were posting players odds last week, and you could just see some of these numbers would not hold the line.
I got to give you credit. You told me to bet Ludwig Aberg. I have him now at like 40 to 1. Yeah, I have him at 40 to 1 right now. So I love that.
Ludwig 40, so I got some nice guys, some nice numbers. And this was still up until Saturday that you could get some of these numbers. I might have even messaged you on Sunday, Jay.
You did.
Or something.
You did.
So there was a great opportunity to be had. All those numbers are sort of long gone. The safest bet at the top right now, because Morikawa's got to win, and then, you know, his 5th and 7th place at the other elevateds. He's hitting it so beautifully. If I didn't have a bet yet, I'd probably say the Morikawa 20. Seems like that makes sense, but you know I'm not a Morikawa fan, so I don't want to stand for that too hard. Russell Henley, who's almost like a poor man's Morikawa, but getting priced just like him. That is an outright bet that I made this week. That wasn't part of my futures card coming into the week. So Russell Henley and Matthew Fitzpatrick would have been the two bets that I actually made in the week at play. Just we're running late here, and you got a real capper coming up next. So what should we do?
I was just gonna give you the floor to give out any more props you wanted to give out rapid fire quickly. If you had like a top 10, top 5, top 10, top 20, or any three balls you like, because I know you like to give those out as well. If not, we can see you out.
I'm not much of a three ball guy, but I would say Alex Noren. Noren, we're like laddering through some props quietly. A very nice little season for Noren. He has won twice over in Europe at the end of last year. He's driving it consistent. He's got 3 top 20s, I think, in his last 7 appearances here at the Players. So we can get like Noren T10s at like plus 670. And Corey Connors, good old Canadian boy Corey Connors. There's not too many guys with great course history here because it's such a volatile course. Water everywhere. You're going to load up that leaderboard. Someone you thought could win is going to be 7 over. There's sort of no rhyme or reason to it here. Gimmick course. Corey Connors, though, one of the most accurate players on earth. His skill set always gets around here quite lovely. He's flirting in just in front of 100-1 to win. I'm not quite there yet on Corey to win, but Corey and all sorts of, the T10s, the T20s, that's where I am. Noren and Connors are the guys that I got in the props.
Noren and Connors, respectively, 6-1 to finish T10, T20, plus 280 for Connor, and Noren is around the where is he? 20 plus 250 to finish in top 20. All right, hey. Geoff, appreciate you joining the show. Do you, by the way, just before you head out, do you care about the World Baseball Classic at all?
I mean, it's way better than spring training. So, I watch it. I've been entertained by it. I found great humor in the Americans losing.
Okay, so
to Italy, I'm sorry, losing to Italy in baseball is way more embarrassing than losing to America in hockey.
Okay, this goes to my next question. We'll have you out right away. Just a quick response. What do you care about more, Canada making the World Baseball Classic quarterfinals, or the U.S. missing the World Baseball Classic quarterfinals?
They both go pretty hard. I'd be upset. I'd watch that Canada lose to Panama, which has sort of put them in this place today, which was annoying as shit.
Because they beat Puerto Rico too, which is like.
But in terms of seeing how people would react, I'm probably more interested, more miles out of America, because Canada can't win this thing. They'll run into one of those. Yeah.
Well,
way more internet mileage out of USA not getting out of World Baseball Classic pool play and their manager not knowing
they didn't get to buy.
I mean, I love Canada, but I think, and I'm not cheering for USA to have. I'm just saying it would be
funny. It would be funny. All right, Geoff, appreciate you joining the show. We will chat soon. Geoff Feinberg, the GOAT, in peak mid-season form. It's his football offseason, but NFL mid-season form. I guess it's kind of his busy season now, too, with how much golf is going on.
Jeff's amazing.
But we love Geoff Feinberg here on the show. Tough act to follow. Feel bad for Kirk. Hopefully he has some winners for us here today. Our favorite frat boy. He's a basketball originator. Looks great today. Kirk, how's it going, my friend?
Going well. I feel like it's time to you got to think of something new. You're in the content game. Favorite frat boy. It was funny the first 4 times.
Okay, I'll think.
We need workshop. Let's workshop it.
Okay, we'll workshop it. Do you want to workshop it live on air? Do you want to workshop it in your office on Monday?
That'll be good content.
Okay, we'll workshop it when you're in office on Monday. Let's start with this here. Bam Adebayo. I feel like this is the number one thing to talk about in the NBA. What's your take on it? I had the take of if you are angry at Bam for getting the second spot here, not breaking the record, but getting the second spot in most points scored in a single game all time, you're kind of a loser. What do you expect him to do? G-Sack George, who was on earlier, is in the camp of, hey, it's an unethical record. Miami was fouling. Washington sucks. All that kind of stuff. Fouling to get more possessions, Miami was doing. Where do you stand in this whole Bam Adebayo debate?
So I agree with you in terms of I don't think you can hold anything against Bam for the intentional fouling stuff. Kobe in his last game I don't know if people remember that one against Utah, like was truly like doing some of the most egregious, like selfish basketball I've ever seen to get to 60 in his last game. It was an amazing game, and now it's remembered as Kobe scored 60. But like in these regular season weird games, you get a lot of like if you actually kind of like take a peek behind the curtain and go back and remember these games, like there's players when they're at a crazy record. I can promise you Wilt Chamberlain wasn't ethically scoring 100 points. So yeah, I have no problem with Bam, but if I'm being totally honest, like when I heard Bam scored 83 points, like I in my like soul, I feel sadness and shame. Like it's just to me a really good encapsulation of where the league is right now. That on March 11th, like it's not even that deep into the season, we could have a team that is such a spectacular joke of a team in the Washington Wizards. They barely even trying. I watched the replay. Like obviously, some of the second two-way guys play decently hard, but they're not NBA players. They shouldn't be in the league. Like Jameer Watkins, he should not be in the NBA, and he is just because they want to lose games. Brian Keefe is one of the worst coaches I've ever seen in my life. And they're making, Tristan Vucevic, who's like whatever, maybe a third center in the league, is getting blown by Bam like he's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Like Bam Adebayo is the 30th to 40th to 50th best offensive player in the league. Like just the fact that the conditions are there for Bam Adebayo to score 83 points. Obviously they manipulated it to some degree, but like I truly look at it as shameful. And I was arguing on Twitter yesterday about how there are too many games in the NBA, how tanking's a big problem, and some people, very few, I honestly believe, are disagreeing with me. I think this is a good encapsulation. Like I don't think anyone looks at this or I don't think the general sentiment of Bam scoring 83 is like, holy shit, someone scored 83 points. That should be such an unbelievable accomplishment, but it just feels fake and watered down and gross.
Oh, watered down, my favorite word. No, it's very interesting that you have the take of like there should be less NBA games. As someone who like, listen, you're obviously a basketball fan, but you're also a basketball bettor, right? So like less NBA games means less opportunity for you to bet on games. So is that ever like conflicting for you?
Yeah, look, obviously, personally, for like making money, there being less games is like would be worse for me, but like I'm not going to argue something I don't believe because it's worse for me personally. Like I don't have any impact on if there will or won't be less games. I'm not in the league office, so this is just truly my opinion that there are too many games. And I'm not saying that in terms of like I don't know necessarily if the NBA would make more or less money. Like I think people who kind of have that take, there's too much unknown. Like I don't know the NBA's financials, so it's impossible for me to know that they would make more money. But in terms of product, it would quite obviously be a better product. And I'm not gonna shape my opinion based on what's good for me. Yes, it's better for me to have a lot of games. Like the end of the season props that are a complete joke can be amazing. You can have amazing opportunities, but like that doesn't mean I think that's good for the league.
Okay, fair point there. Just curious to get your opinion on that. And I think you had a very like neutral and centered and grounded take on this Bam Adebayo stuff, which is pretty normal of you. Other than you've had one bad take
That was the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
Really? No, I've said so many nicer things. That's such a lie. I think your best take though, or your worst take, you had a really bad take recently on Twitter. It was like the canceling of the
strip club
night. How do you feel vindicated after they ended up canceling that strip club night?
Like
you're ruining the fun for everyone.
It's funny because like that was by far my most viral, I guess, tweet I've ever had, and it was such like a not take like I could not care less, if I'm being honest. It was just like kind of came to my brain and I tweeted it. Like that's normally how I tweet things. Like I stand by what I said. I think it's very odd that there would be a a theme night for an NBA game that's themed or that's like, I don't think it was sponsored, but like, I guess themed as a strip club in Atlanta. Like, what are we doing here? That obviously makes no sense. I was stunned that people had so many opinions on it. And also, like, I'm not like the like anti-strip club guy. Like, I don't care at all. And it's just funny that was a thing. Like, when they canceled it, I felt zero emotion. I could not care less. Like, it just doesn't matter to me. I just said that because that was what I thought, and it kind of came to mind, and like it was a trending story, and I'd seen it, and I was like, oh, okay, what, like, how could this be a thing? Like, that's really stupid. But like, I'm not the guy who's like, oh my god, strip clubs are horrible and blah blah. Like, I could not care less. So it's funny that was such a like, it was just such a massive thing, and by far my biggest tweet ever. Something that I'm like, kind of thought that was. I thought that was the right take, but in terms of like a spectrum of how much I care about the takes I tweet, it was absolutely at the bottom by far. So who knows? Yeah.
It's also funny because like I think people just more so ragged on you because it's just like kind of funny. It's like a funny thing that people want to happen.
For sure. No, I got killed in some group chats from my friends.
You did. Good. Deservingly so. I will say though, missed opportunity from the NBA to have, if they were to have a strip club night. How do you not have James Harden playing in that game? Anyways, we'll get to that.
Great point.
Like, figure it out, guys. Let's get to the props for today because I know that people are clamoring for it. We'll start with the Raptors and Pelicans game. We're going to head over to points, rebounds, and assists. I'm going to scroll all the way down to Jeremiah Fears. We're going to take the under -112 points, rebounds, and assists. It moved a little bit. I hope you're okay with that.
That's fine.
Yeah, I assume so. So under 16.5 -112 points, rebounds, and assists.
Yeah.
Talk us through it.
So the Pels, unlike the Wizards or teams kind of similar to them in standings, they don't have their pick, and they're actually playing quite well. So they're not, playing their youngsters 40 minutes. They're playing a very serious, real rotation. Like, they're playing essentially the optimized rotation to win basketball games. And Fears is like, I have him for under 20 minutes, like between like around 19. And at that number, I just am clearly below 16.5 PRA. DeJounte Murray came back from his Achilles, and he's actually just ramping up hhis minutes. I think they played like maybe 45 seconds of overlap. So, if this is a close game, which it's a 2-point spread, and Murray gets into the even low to mid 30s, I have Fears' minute downside, 16 minutes. I think this is a bit of a reaction to last game where the Pelicans just blew out the Wizards and Fears had a big game, but he played, I think I have him in front of me. I don't, but I think he played like 7 or 9, something like that, first half minutes, which is a much better reflection for
future
minutes in a blowout than like him playing the entirety of the fourth quarter. If the game was close, he might not have played a minute in the fourth quarter, or he probably would have started the fourth quarter. But yeah, I think he has a serious minute downside. So yeah, I can't get there with that few minutes. I think it's just being propped up that he played well last game in a blowout against the team that Bam scored 83 points against.
All right, Jeremiah Fears under 16.5 points, rebounds, and assists -112 is the number that we are looking at. Up next, we're going to head over to the Rockets and Nuggets game. We're going to scroll all the way. We're going to head over to player points. We're going to go to Christian Braun. We're going to take his over of 10.5 points at -112. Talk us through Christian Braun and why you like his over on points.
Yeah, this is another one I just think is kind of maybe over-adjusted with Aaron Gordon coming back. I still think he'll be like decently limited, but Braun's points aren't that affected by Aaron Gordon or even like the really high usage guys like Jokic. I think he actually maybe scores more points per minute with Jokic on. He's just been playing monster minutes. The Denver bench is just really bad in high leverage games. I think he's one of the few wings they trust. He played 37, 38 last game against OKC, and I think he had 5 fouls in that game as well. So he's been struggling a bit, but I have a hard time really moving off of like, I feel like we have a pretty good idea of what Christian Braun is.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a great matchup, but Denver's also been really like pushing the pace. And he is like a pace player for them. So yeah, I just have this at like close to 11.5, 12 points.
Mm-hmm.
I make it like 12% value. I think it's pretty good.
All right. Over 10.5 points for Christian Braun at -112. Last one you have for us. You must have watched the show yesterday because I cashed a little Jackson Blake over 2.5 shots on goal at +220. So you're like, ooh, like Jason hit like a pretty nice plus money bet here. So let me follow suit and give out a nice little, we'll call it a little bit of a long shot here. It's a +280 bet. We're going to head over to the Cavs and the Magic. We're going to go to assists.
I like that story that you just formulated in your head of that happening. The real reason is they don't have his main line on FanDuel.
Okay. All right. Good to know. Well,
so I just went to 4+. I personally have bet this at 3.5, or sorry, at 2.5.
All right. They don't have it on FanDuel? Well,
No.
You're right. They don't. All right. Well, we're going to head over to the assist market. We're going to head over to 4+ assists. Evan Mobley, +280. 4+ assists. We're going to slam that. Talk us through Evan Mobley.
Yeah, so since Harden has come to the team, Mobley has gone on like a very bad run of potential assists to conversions. And I think that's mostly noise. And Jared Allen isn't playing. It's a tough matchup against Orlando, but it's not like the Orlando of last year that was playing at like a 89 pace. Mobley also came back from injury decently recently, but he also is ramping up his minutes. So I think he's averaging 3.6 assists on the year, and his touches aren't really down. His potentials are very, very like down quite minimally, and Allen's out. I think they could stretch his minutes. This is also like a 3-point game. So this is just too aggressive of a move based on what I look at as mostly noise in his decrease in assists.
All right. Evan Mobley, 4+ assists, +280 over on FanDuel. Or you can shop around. What number would you need on his 2.5? What number are you looking for?
I was playing like +100.
+100. So plus money pretty much is what we're looking for on Evan Mobley and his assists. Kirk, appreciate you joining the show. Before you head out, we asked the chat this. What was the biggest or favorite storyline, from last night? Was it Bam Adebayo scoring 83 points, Ravens pulling out of the Crosby trade, or Italy defeating the USA in the World Baseball Classic? Which of those three to you was the biggest storyline?
I'm going to be honest. Last night was the biggest losing night I've ever had in sports betting. I don't care about any of those things, and hopefully I win some bets today.
All right. Hopefully you win some bets today. Hopefully all the best with you and your losses. If you ever, bet responsibly as you did. But it happens. It happens.
Yeah, look.
You said you were running. You honestly, you cursed yourself. It's literally your fault.
No, it's
you're an idiot. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say you're an idiot. You said it.
I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
It was 1,000% my fault. On Monday, we accidentally took a side and then got out of the money line on the other side and hit like a bit of a middle that was just complete joke of a win, and we were just laughing about how lucky we've been and how blah blah blah, and then the next night we get absolutely just fucked. So yeah, look, the betting gods will come for you. They really will. And it was my fault. I totally agree. It was 100% my fault.
That's a quick fresh reminder for everyone in the chat. Never Never
don't
celebrate
tempt the betting gods.
Yeah, don't tempt them because you came on here. You're like,
could not have tempted the betting gods more.
That plus last time you were on the show, all you said was I've been running hot. I'm expecting to lose soon. It's there you go. Worst betting loss. Worst betting day of your life. Just around the corner. Little did you know. You're still up. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, it happens. It happens.
Yeah, appreciate you joining the show. Happy to see you in good spirits after a tough loss. But yeah, hopefully we can get you some wins tonight. Hopefully you can get the chat some wins tonight. Appreciate you, Kirk. We'll chat soon.
Absolutely. Later.
Awesome stuff from Kirk, as always. Can't wait to have our little powwow on Monday, where we're going to be discussing some new tagline for him. We're off the frat boy stuff now. We're going to get into
We
that.
should ask the chat. Be like, tagline for Kirk, go.
If you have an idea for a tagline for Kirk, let us know in the chat, or you can let us know in our Discord, because I'm not sure if you've been living under a rock or not, but we have a great newsletter. Excuse me. Wow, I got that one missed.
Well, I mean, we
Join
can
the
still
Discord
promote
too.
the Discord.
Yeah,
Like,
we'll
scan the
promote the
QR code on
Discord.
your screen.
And then while you're doing that, go check out our newsletter, because that's what we've been
Correct.
we've been dropping the newsletter all throughout football season. But just because the NFL is over doesn't mean we're not adding some new stuff in there. Alex continues to fire on his hockey bets on Wednesday. There's going to be a ton of free agency coverage in the newsletter as well. So if you care about the NFL and NFL free agency, please go check that out. Also be talking some NFL draft stuff, which is not just around the corner, but just around the corner.
Soon.
Yeah. We're 2 weeks away from being 2 weeks away from the NFL draft. I don't think that math works out, but I wanted to say it.
It is what it is. The math ain't mathin'.
Yeah, it's all good. Anyways, appreciate you guys joining the show. Appreciate Kirk. Appreciate George. Appreciate Geoff. Do us a favor, if you're listening on audio podcasts or audio forms as well, hit that 5-star button. Trying to get some more reviews out there. Do us a favor, rate and review. Goes a long way for us here on the channel. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. And tell your friends. Tell your friends. Drop a comment after that video as well. Appreciate you guys.
We surpassed 4,400.
Yeah.
And 2 o'clock.
Yeah. Appreciate you guys. 2 o'clock, like I mentioned throughout the show, free agent signings. Go check it out. Forward Progress YouTube channel.
George, Austin, Rob.
Should be a great one. Anyways, appreciate you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you guys for being so active in the chat. This has been the Wednesday, March 11th edition of the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Bet Network, presented by our good friends over at FanDuel. We will see you guys right here tomorrow.